What's up YouTube, how you doing? This is Mr. Tybox123 and in this video I'm going to be bringing you my full review of this, the brand new BlackBerry Z10. So as you guys know, I've had this phone since the launch and I've been using it quite extensively in order to be able to bring you guys a decent review of exactly how this phone performs. Now, one thing to bear in mind throughout this review is that not only is this a new piece of hardware from BlackBerry, but this is also a brand new operating system in BlackBerry 10. So always bear that in mind. It's going to have a few features that need some work. It's going to need a whole bunch more apps added to the application portfolio. But I just wanted you to bear that in mind throughout the review. So first of all, let's look at the actual hardware itself. Now the hardware is a really nice piece of hardware. It's got this kind of rubberized back to it and it's got a really amazing build quality. It feels fantastic in the hand, it's got a nice weight to it, and it does actually bear some similarities to the black iPhone 5, or obviously if you have the white version of the Z10 then the white iPhone 5. They are fairly similar in terms of the actual looks and design. But like I say, the build quality is absolutely fantastic. It's got a kind of metal casing with that rubberized back to it, and it's got a lot of good features as well in terms of hardware. The screen, slightly bigger than the iPhone 5, is a 4.2 inch screen. It's got a 1280 by 768 resolution, so a very good resolution, and the quality of the screen itself really is fantastic. It's got great vibrancy, great contrast, and extremely good PPI. In terms of the processor, it's got a 1.5 GHz dual core processor with a large amount of RAM as well, 2 GB of RAM, and that really does enable it to perform just as well as pretty much most of the other smartphones that are out on the market today. It also comes standard with 16 GB of onboard storage, which can be expanded via the micro SD card when you remove the back casing on the phone. Now in terms of cameras, it's got an 8 megapixel camera on the back of the phone and it takes reasonably decent pictures. It does suffer a little bit in terms of low light performance, but in full light the actual picture quality is fairly much the same as the other smartphones that are out on the market today, maybe just slightly inferior to those at the very top of the range, things like the iPhone 5 and the Galaxy S3, but much of a muchness really in terms of overall camera quality. Quite a cool feature as well on the camera function itself. You can actually go in and use the time shift functionality, which enables you to actually pick the best picture for a series that it actually takes all in one go and pick the exact one that you like. Maybe you've missed that moment by just a fraction of a second. So that's a nice piece of functionality. In terms of the way you actually focus, it's quite strange because instead of actually clicking the area on the screen that you want to focus on, you actually have to drag the focus around the screen and then you tap the screen to actually take the picture. So when you first get the phone, you keep tapping and taking pictures when you're actually trying to focus. So just bear that in mind if you go ahead and get yourself a BlackBerry Z10. Now, in terms of the actual operating system itself, like I said, this is a brand new operating system from BlackBerry. It's called BlackBerry 10, and we have to bear that in mind when we're looking at all of these new features and functionality. But one thing they have implemented extremely well, something I really like, is the gestures themselves. Now, there's quite a few gestures on the phone itself. Generally, regardless of any application or screen you're in, a single swipe upwards will take you back to your main home screen. Now, the home screen itself really is a collection of running applications, some of which turn into widgets, some of which don't, and you can actually have up to 8 running applications at any one time. The problem with that is that you can't actually position them or lock them into any kind of position, so they literally order themselves in the order that you've recently run the applications. So for those applications that do turn into widgets, things like photos and weather, you're going to have to constantly be rearranging those to get them back to the top of that home screen. Now if you swipe to the left on the main home screen, it will take you to your application drawer if you like, and that will give you your list of all of your applications that you've actually got installed on the phone. You can arrange these however you want, or you can put them into folders as well if you'd like to. Now another gesture that's on the BlackBerry Z10 is one where you swipe up and then you go to the right, and that actually reveals your notifications and takes you directly to the BlackBerry Hub. Now, the BlackBerry Hub has been around on most of the BlackBerry devices for quite some time, and I actually quite like the BlackBerry Hub. I think it's fantastic that you get your complete stream of social media and email communication, text messages, BBM, all of that kind of stuff, all in one place, and you don't have to constantly navigate between different applications. A bit of a problem with the Hub implementation on the Z10 is that it always takes you to the place where you last left off. So if you get a notification for email, for example, and you do that up, swipe, and then to the right, instead of taking you directly to that most recent notification, it will just take you back to wherever you left off before. Now, once you're in the BlackBerry Hub, you can actually swipe to the left, and then you can actually drill down on each of the different application notifications and look at them all individually. And the notifications themselves come up via the means of a flashing red light, and also obviously a sound as well if you want to assign that to the notification. But all in all, I love the gestures on the BlackBerry 10. It also enables you to use it completely with one hand, so rather than having to use two hands or start navigating your way around by moving your thumb around the screen or your fingers, you just do those swipe gestures and they pretty much give you access to most of the functions on the screen, making that 4.2-inch screen feel a little bit smaller in terms of the way that you have to use your fingers to navigate around it, which I think is a good thing. Now, in terms of the overall performance of the phone, everything is extremely snappy. You get in and out of applications very, very quickly, and gaming pretty much adds up to most of the other smartphone performances that are out on the market today, so no problem with gaming performance or anything like that. The applications themselves that come stock with the phone, it comes with Foursquare, Twitter, Facebook, and it also comes with various links to other applications, things like Dropbox and also Evernote, so you can get access to some of the core applications. But probably the biggest single problem with this phone is the number of applications that are available to it. Things like Instagram and WhatsApp hopefully will be coming at some stage, but aren't available at the moment, and those to a lot of people are obviously core applications that they can't go without, so we haven't got those right at this moment in time. But hopefully BlackBerry will be getting these applications and adding them into BlackBerry World as soon as they possibly can. The applications that come stock with the phone are reasonably good. Twitter's not fantastic, could be better, and hopefully there will be improvements with that. But the Facebook application is pretty much the same as you get on most of the other devices that are available today. In terms of general application availability, BlackBerry World comes as it is now with about 70,000 applications, but unfortunately the vast majority of those applications are either ported from the BlackBerry Playbook or from Android. And when you're actually using the Android based applications, when you're in them, you're basically in an Android sandbox. So when you do things like the alternative click, for example, or touch on the screen, it brings up an Android based menu right the way back from Android 2.3, which is not particularly fantastic. And hopefully people won't take that approach of migrating applications from Android. They'll actually write them specifically for the BlackBerry Z10. The hardware and the software definitely does deserve that kind of attention, so hopefully that's what it will get in the future. The browser is absolutely fantastic, extremely fast browser, very, very responsive right the way through, from pinch and zoom to loading pages and loading all different kinds of media that you get online. Works extremely well, and is probably the fastest browser that I've used on any smartphone that's available today. So they've definitely done a fantastic job with the browser. The keyboard on the BlackBerry Z10 really is fantastic. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I really do. The ability for it to learn the words that you use the most in the correct order and just swipe those words directly up into the text entry bar really does work fantastically well, and I really enjoyed using that. It's probably one of my favourite features in terms of the new features that are in BlackBerry 10, and I think they've implemented that in a really fantastic way. If they can improve upon that as well, that's going to make it even better. But like I say, the keyboard really is a fantastic feature inside BlackBerry 10. BBM carries on as normal, works fantastically well. It is the single best messaging platform that's out there at the moment. It's just a shame it's not cross-platform. But for those people that love BlackBerry and want to continue using BBM, BBM is implemented just as well as any other device or operating system that BlackBerry have previously done. And it also adds features like BBM video and also the ability to share your phone screen, which is a brilliant piece of functionality that I wish other phone manufacturers would implement, the ability to share your phone and show someone what you're actually doing on your phone. There's a couple of other inbuilt apps that are quite good as well. The Story Maker application is really quite good. It's kind of a sort of iMovie based application, if you like. Gives you the ability to kind of add some nice themes and snap some of your videos and photos together to create yourself a nice kind of movie, if you like, and gives you a really nice output when you're actually finished compiling that particular piece of media. And all in all, I've got to say, I'm very impressed with the BlackBerry 10 for a first iteration operating system. I think BlackBerry have done a fantastic job. Like I say, you've got to bear in mind this is the first release of BlackBerry 10. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more to come from these guys, and the actual hardware itself really is a fantastic piece of hardware as well. So let's hope that BlackBerry can add to the competition that's already out there and drive towards us having much better end user devices. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do hit that like button for me, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya.